You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi guys, it's another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. I'm sorry, I'm just actually cleaning my glasses while I'm saying this, but I'm sure we can carry on. Hi again, I'm Steve as usual, and my second half of my marriage is alongside me is Haydn. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Steve. But I didn't know that we were married.
Well,
I think you better tell my wife that.
Oh, the things that just come out, you know what I mean?
She's going to start getting a bit of paranoia because somebody I work with refers to herself as my work wife, and she says that my wife is her number. My wife is my number two wife.
Yeah, because we have a different relationship, though, don't we? That's how it is.
We do, yes.
It's an on-off relationship because we don't sometimes speak all week, do we?
Sometimes it depends, really. Depends upon how much time we've got and what we're playing.
Yeah, because some of us only play one game sometimes.
Yeah, and then others of us play lots of games.
Yeah, just to rack up those achievements. I know.
Not on the PC.
No. Well, you could be, I suppose, if it was a Microsoft game.
It's not, though, is it?
ICA, isn't it? Of course it is. Anyway, how you doing, pal? All right?
Yeah, doing fine. Fine. Had a weekend to myself.
Oh, nice.
Well, sort of to myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, because my mother lives with us and I had the dog, but my wife went away with our son.
Okay, so you had to look after the dog then.
Yeah.
Anyway, this week. So, a couple of things. Because I haven't spoken to you, you don't know about this yet. So, anyway. So, do you remember a while back, I did a little something for War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
At the NDA.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out it was to do with the War of the Worlds immersive experience, which is going to be happening in London. I think it starts about May onwards. So you've got like a 2,000 square feet area, where you've got VR/augmented VR.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of saying it, and you're in that Victorian time with all the aliens attacking London. So I had a couple of emails backwards and forwards about it, and they're obviously to do with what they wanted and everything else.
Yeah.
And they've invited me to go and have a go at it. So
cool.
I should be going. I had my last email said the lady's going to get back to me. She said thanks for the interest, and we'll let you know how it's going to work.
Oh, very good.
So that'd be interesting. I mean, I've not done augmented reality, VR reality, whatever it is, because you've done that bit, haven't you? So.
Mm.
But I've seen a couple of videos on how they're putting it together. So it looked quite professional how they're doing it.
Oh, very cool.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing is I'm going to be able to promote our show.
How's that?
Because I've been invited on another podcast.
Oh, which one?
Well, I'll tell you after the show. I won't mention it yet because I've been going backwards and forwards with some text messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And we put a date together. But I'll let it get recorded first. I mean, I can talk to you off air about this, but once we get it recorded, we'll then let them know where it is and where it is to have a listen.
I take it I've just sent you a message about which one I think it'll be.
No, it's not.
It's not, isn't it? I'm surprised, actually, with how much you talk to them.
Yeah, no, it's actually someone else, but yeah. And this other guy's got his own YouTube channel as well, actually.
All right, okay.
Yeah, but tell you, I'll tell you about that when we finish recording.
Cool.
So that'd be quite good because he said, look, because I thought it was going to be like with a few other people.
Yeah.
But he said, no, we'll make it for you, and you can introduce yourself, put all the show about the show and that before and afterwards sort of stuff. So okay, so at least it gets us out there again because we try in different ways to promote ourselves.
Mm.
So other than that, Halloween 4 turned up in 4K, and as much of a fan of it, I haven't sat and watched it yet. So I've watched the extras.
Yeah.
so I haven't actually watched the film yet. I've had a bit of time. Also, as we were talking about earlier, I finally got a copy of The Last Starfighter. I did have a sort of a digital version, but I really wanted it on hard disk.
Hmm.
You know, after where we talk about streaming and everything else.
Yeah.
For getting it for about £10 on eBay, and it was delivered in about 2 days.
That's not bad.
Yeah, because I get it sent to Sainsbury's.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a 24-hour shop, so I can just click and collect. Very easy.
Yeah.
And the other thing I picked up was the soundtrack to The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Nice.
Which is one of my favourite 1950s sci-fi B-movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a picture disc with the original... I think it's the original poster that would have been out at the time.
Okay.
So that turned up today. Gaming-wise, so as you know, I've been playing Destiny. There's a real reason why I'm playing Destiny, because it's something I've been needing to do before Tuesday, so I'll mention that. And this afternoon I did an hour of Anthem.
Aha! Okay.
Yeah, I got an achievement in that, I think, and we'll have I'll tick your boxes and ask you some questions, because yeah, okay.
Right. Okay.
And that movies this week, so. I watched that Sky one that was advertised with Sky in the cinema. It's released at the same time.
Yeah.
I mentioned last week, Serenity. So I'll talk about that, and also The Quiet Place. Well, I watched that while munching Doritos.
I'm making plenty of noise.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and yeah, interesting movie. So that's my stuff. What about yourself, Mel?
Well, not much has happened really that much. Been collecting in the money from Game Blast, from the sort of like, you know, real life, as it were. Or, you know, when I say real life, I mean people I actually know and can talk to on a face-to-face basis.
Oh, okay, yeah, because don't they actually go straight to the the website to donate, or do they did that by here's a tenner at my pocket or whatever?
Yeah, some of it's a bit like that. So, been starting to collect all of that in. So I'm estimating by the time we'll have finished, it'll have raked in about £300.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
and I actually got a nice card from them to say thank you as well.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I think you put them out there on Twitter as well. There was a couple of videos.
Yeah.
Just showing you what they were up to.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think you should have. I don't know if they showed them before it was all kicking off, but it probably would have helped better that way, I'd have thought. Maybe they did and I didn't see them.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so, I don't know. But yeah, I think, it's been a good experience. I'm really glad that I did it. Might do it again next year, I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe do it every other year. I don't know. I haven't
depends
thought
what
of it.
Games are at as well, isn't it, really? If it's a quiet year, quiet 6 weeks in gaming in that time frame, there might not be the games you really want to stream, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I know a lot of games come out this time, so it was like relatively all new games you could actually put on there, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But then again, you don't necessarily need to have a load of new games, do you, for people to watch your streaming?
No, that's true. It could just be Destiny, couldn't it?
God, Destiny. Yes, it could be, Steve. Yes, it could be. So, but one of the sort of like unintended side effects of doing Game Blast has been the fact that it has now allowed me to become a Twitch affiliate.
Is that because the amount of streamers you got then? Is that
yeah, I hit the criteria to become on their affiliate program.
Yeah.
So what that basically means is anybody who gets Amazon Prime.
That's right. I remember about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody who gets Amazon Prime, you get £5 to subscribe to a channel on Twitch for that month, and then you have to go back and renew it. But what it means is that anybody who's watching, if they want to, can subscribe for the month, which won't cost them anything out of their Prime membership. So it's not, but what it will do is help to pay for the hosting of the show.
Well, actually, I should do that for us, shouldn't I? Because I've got Prime, haven't I? So
yeah.
So I could do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much of that you actually see, because I think that it's split sort of like 50-50 or something.
What about your own Prime? Can you do it for your own Prime as well?
No, I can't.
Okay.
No, because I thought, I'll try doing that.
What,
no.
Is it? It's a shame like your missus didn't have it as well, or it was under your missus instead of you, or something. You could,
Yeah, it's not though. So
they're not silly, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. They've obviously thought of these sort of things.
Yeah,
but that will start to, hopefully pay for the cost of the podcast, because it has cost a few £100 over the last year, which is quite a lot of money.
If there was I don't know how many it would take. Have you ever worked it out yet? What it would take how many people to do it?
Well, if we had, say, 100 listeners donate £1, that would pay for the hosting for the year.
So that's not bad if you think of it like that, is it?
No, it isn't. It's not a lot of money, it's like, what, 2.5p a show. sort of thing, if you break it down like that. Or about a pound, about a penny for an hour's worth of entertainment. Well, I'm sure some people probably argue it's not entertainment at all.
Well, it depends how you look at it, really, isn't it?
It does. But I think one of the things as well is because I quite enjoyed doing the streaming, so I've been keeping it up.
Right.
And I'm going to start doing that, and I'm going to try and work out a schedule that I can stick to as well. But obviously that's got to go around family life and all of that sort of thing. At the moment, it's a bit more ad hoc.
And I think people will understand that anyway, because it's like anything really. Everyone's got a life in the background that has to come first. Yeah,
exactly. But it's just sort of like, giving people the ability to just drop in for a chat or say hello or just generally see what I'm actually playing at the moment. And see how on some games I can be quite incredibly bad at some of the stuff I've been doing. I don't know what it is, but as soon as you start getting streamed, you seem to die a lot more.
Yeah, it is true though. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I totally agree with you on that one.
But I completely refuse to dumb down the experience by going on to, easy mode.
I think it's different where if you think about some of these YouTubers and they're doing these reviews and they must have it on the easy mode so it flows okay for the show they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
Because if you're going to do it on normal and you come again to sticky point, you're never going to get that show wound up right correctly because you're dying 6 or 7 times on a boss that you may need to work out how to kill him.
Well, I mean, we know 1 or 2 people who do streaming, and we know that they go on easy or the easiest mode for playing games. But personally, I just think it gives a false view of the game. Unless you're going to play it at that level, I think it's better to just play on normal mode, because that gives gives people the idea of how much of a struggle certain bits are. Yes,
it is. Yeah, because it's like even like games like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Where between normal and easy there is a big difference. Well, not easy mode, the dumbed down noob mode, should we call it? There is a big difference on the enemies and how many bullets the sponge can take.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's just one of them things. But I've really enjoyed it. I'm trying to think about how many hours have I actually streamed in the last month. So. I'm just looking at my stats at the moment on Twitch. So I'm at 29 hours so far this month.
It's like another job, isn't
it? Yeah, it is really. But I didn't know this, but Twitch actually give you achievements as well.
Oh my God. They should have told you that.
Yeah, so I've been scoring achievements while I've been doing my streaming.
Gee, bloody hell.
Yeah. So, but I need to get up the average number of watchers.
Okay, moving on then.
So that's it. So this weekend's just been a bit quieter. Had my mate come round last night and we watched a couple of movies, which I'll talk about.
Okay. Do you want to say what they are now or not?
No, I'll keep it for a surprise for later.
All right, let me scroll down to the bottom then. So I can have a look. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny
Classic ones.
It's funny because I was on Sky today, and even though I've got the box set, the Sky movies have got a few more box sets in their sort of list at the moment.
Mm.
So one of the box sets to do one of the movies you want to talk about, which I won't say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They got a box set of those sitting
All
there,
right. Okay.
and then there's quite a few others as well. I noticed, which is quite good. I mean, I know I did actually play one of the ones you were talking about and watched a bit of it this afternoon, but I was thinking, well, it's now blown up on my TV at full screen, but I do prefer the original ratio.
Yeah.
So depending on what that can be, because some letterboxes are bigger than others.
Yes, that's true.
And I think one of the world's worst, it doesn't bother me, is Star Wars, actually. That is one of the sort of the ratio that has on the screen.
Yeah.
I think it's like 235 to 1 maybe or something, or 184. I don't remember now, but I don't mind that actually, because I like to see the full image.
I've never minded letterbox at all.
I bought deliberately because it's letterbox.
Big two, definitely. The interesting thing is, in like the Dark Knight trilogy, especially in the second movie, they go to IMAX resolution.
It does, yeah, that's right.
On the action scenes, but the rest of the film is in letterbox.
Yeah, it's only because the camera dimensions for IMAX is sort of square, isn't it? If you know what I mean.
Well, it's 16:9.
Yeah, but it's massive.
Yes,
because of what it's actually showing on the IMAX screen.
Yeah,
but it doesn't take away from the effect of it at all.
No, as a matter of fact, it enhances the movie, I think, for that. Because it's not something you're necessarily really aware of. You just, I was just suddenly watching a film thinking, I thought this was in widescreen. Oh, well.
Didn't you know then beforehand?
Not the first time that I ever saw it on Blu-ray, but obviously the 4K, yeah. So when I first had it on Blu-ray, I looked and I thought, sure, this was in letterbox. I just sort of like shrugged and moved on. And then it went back and I thought, oh, okay, I see what they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And as I say, it's funny, like, so you'd watch some extras like I did. I watched the extras for The Last Starfighter, and I was watching the making of it.
Yeah.
And that was 4:3. So, because it was original probably for TV maybe at the time when it was filmed and made.
Yeah.
So you have the black lines going down on the side of the panels. Which I can't get to grips with that sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah, that for some reason the black lines at the side seems to be harder to do than top and bottom. Because you had that with Star Trek: The Next Generation on the remaster, didn't you? Yeah.
They didn't make it 16:9. They kept it at 4:3, which it was filmed at.
Yeah.
Which I suppose there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if the trickery they can do to not make a circle go to like a fat.
Well, all they do
squat.
is just have to zoom in on part of the picture, because that's what they did on the original series.
Well, that's pan and scan then, isn't it? If they do that.
Yeah, but that's what they did on the original series.
Excuse me.
On the remaster for that they actually broadcast, because that's on 16:9. But you look at the Blu-ray and that's on 4:3.
I remember watching a documentary about that, saying how they did that.
Yeah.
Quite a while ago, but okay. Shall we? We could chat arouse this in this little section. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so we'll go into, and I'll say it correctly this week, gaming this week.
Yay!
No longer a dream, but a reality.
I did start to watch Bohemian Rhapsody this afternoon.
All right, yeah.
I turned it off because I wouldn't have time to watch it.
Yeah.
Because my missus suddenly got glued on it. How bizarre is that?
It's an excellent movie, mate.
And
4K tomorrow.
Say again, sorry?
4K tomorrow.
Is it? What do you mean 4K?
That's when it's released.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're recording this, I'll just say this. The Record Store Day, which comes out, before we jump into this, Record Store Day is, I think, April the 13th this year.
Yeah.
And the list came out. It's about 500 albums, which some of them are going to be more limited than others.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack in picture disc form.
Nice.
And I might put that, because I'll have to go in early and queue with the rest of the world to see if I can pick one up, because they're limited to shops, because there's like all the shops around the world that do it, and if they've got like 6,000 copies, there ain't gonna be many floating around.
No.
But we'll see. Anyway, so gaming this week. Do you want to see what news we got?
News-wise, about the new Xbox console. So, Xbox Project Scarlet, Lockhart and Anaconda. So, according to a report from a French website, Giro Video, Microsoft will officially announce a pair of new consoles at this year's E3, including a fully featured Anaconda SKU and a lower-spec model codenamed Lockhart. The site's also stating that Halo Infinite will launch alongside the new consoles. Evidently, Microsoft is planning the next console for release to arrive in 2020, and according to the same report, Project Scarlet is a family of devices, which should mean we get multiple product launches in 2 years' time.
Now, does that mean, should you wait if you're happy with what you've got at the moment?
I think it does mean wait, and if you're happy with what you've got, because I get the feeling that what will be released in 2020 will be the Xbox One X2, which will be the thin version of the X. And then I think after that, we'll then get the, full-on next-gen console.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, it was obvious that Halo Infinite was going to launch alongside it.
Yeah.
And I thought probably Gears as well, but that's still in a development at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, well, evidently Phil Spencer's hinting that it's going to be a big E3 for them, because evidently Sony's not going.
No, that's right. I don't know what they're going to do their own this time, if they're going to do something.
Well, I think that Sony's sort of like winding up PlayStation 4 for PlayStation 5 now. That's how it feels, because there are exclusives coming, but they're not as thick and fast as they were.
Do you think, compared to Microsoft, that Sony like to kill a console quicker than they should do? Or they sort of forget that one and move on, not think, well, let's move forward, but even though like they've got so many million of these out there.
Well, production stopping on the Vita, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can no longer get PS3 or Vita games in Plus.
That's right.
So I think that Sony do tend to cut a console off relatively quickly. Whereas when you look at Microsoft, when it went onto the 360, it was years later that they switched off Xbox Live for the Xbox.
Yeah, there were some games that, I mean, do you remember that? Was it the Halo 2 game?
Yeah.
Where that guy kept his server running and Microsoft said, wait, if it dies, then we'll switch it off. But he tried to keep it going as long as possible.
Yeah, I remember that.
Class, that was, mate. Good on him for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, interesting. Okay, so do you want to do new releases and I'll do the charts?
Okay, so new releases. This week we have on PS4 and Xbox One from the 1st of the 3rd, Dark Souls Trilogy, Dead or Alive 6 on PS4, Xbox One and PC, and also RPG Maker MV on PS4, Xbox One and Switch. From the 5th of the 3rd, we have Left Alive on a PS4, The Occupation, PS4, Xbox One and PC, Devil May Cry 5 on PS4, Xbox One and PC on the 8th, and Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn on the 3DS on the 8th of the 3rd.
So, will Dead or Alive 6 have a lot of wobblies in it?
I don't know, but you might need to be 100. Interesting enough, actually, out of all of those, one that I'm actually quite interested in seeing
is it Capcom?
No, it's Nintendo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, because when my son was first getting into video games, that was the game he played, and now he can just speedrun it. But he's played it so much, and I used to play it with him.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just quite interested to see what it's going to be like on the 3DS.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I don't know what Left Alive is. Is that? Never heard of that one.
No, I don't remember what that Left Alive. Trying to remember.
It's Square Enix, so I was thinking, okay, it might be worth having a look at.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll do the charts then.
Okay.
So, from 2 down to 5, we've got Metro Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
From 3 to 4, we've got Red Dead Redemption 2. FIFA 19 still hanging in there from 5 up to 3. And down 1 to 2, we got Far Cry New Dawn. And obviously at the moment, the game everyone's talking about, whether they like it or not, will be Anthem. It's there at number 1.
Yeah.
Whether that's hate crime, I don't know.
Do you know what? It does my head in how people are going on about this game. It's really quite pathetic, because I think a lot of the people, it had a bad launch, but they've done an incredible amount to get that system much more stable since the launch. I mean, I think that there's been like 9 gigabytes of patches, if I remember rightly.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Which one came in a 5 gig and one came in a 4. Because I was having tremendous problems with it. But since the second patch, it seems to have stabilised, and it's a good game. But
okay,
we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
You don't like it because it's not Destiny.
Anyway, moving on. So, got Games for Gold and PlayStation Plus are out by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So
and Twitch Prime.
And Twitch Prime. So, okay, so Games for Gold then, we have Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion. I think that's right. March the 1st to the 31st on the Xbox One. Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2. I did play that quite a bit. March 16th to the 15th of April. Star Wars Republic Commando. That's March 1st to the 15th. That's via the backwards compatibility. And Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, March 16th to the 31st, which also is a backwards compatible game.
Yeah.
Anything tickles your fancy there?
No. Basically.
I will download the Star Wars game, though.
Yeah, and that was one of the better Star Wars games, to be fair.
And I think Metal Gear Rising, I don't remember playing that, so I may well just put that in there.
It's one where it's like a hack and slash.
Yeah, you're right. I think I have probably played that one.
Yeah, I think you will have done at some point or another.
Not the best months, is it?
No. To be honest, Xbox have had a couple of poor months, especially in comparison to PlayStation.
Yeah. So, would you want to say what they've got?
Okay, so PlayStation, there's only 2, but there is The Witness and also Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, which previously, well, when it was first released, you could only get it with the Infinite Warfare on a Legacy pack.
That's right, yeah. I think I will... you have to remind me to log on to my dusty PlayStation and actually tick that box.
Yeah.
It's well worth doing. Do you think it seems a bit weird now because they're dropping the games with the PlayStation 3 and the Vita? Isn't it about time they should put some VR games in there?
Yes, I think that they should, but I also think that they should up the PlayStation Plus to counteract the fact that they're dropping the other ones.
Because it's still expensive now, isn't it, PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, because it's not one that you can get heavily discounted. You can get quite frequently games with gold heavily discounted.
Yeah. So maybe I was surprised, this being the first month without it, that they just given 2 games.
But to be fair, there is one good game, and then there is The Witness.
Yeah, true.
And I did complete The Witness as well.
Yeah, but like when you see that, all right, depending, it doesn't matter what the games are, Xbox can be giving you 4 games, and PlayStation Plus are giving you 2 games. That does seem a bit poor, if you look at it like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but only one of the... Well, I suppose one of the games in Games of Gold is worth it, which is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Yeah, you're going to get months where there's some better than others.
Yeah.
But then Microsoft will be able to... They might even sort of put in a campaign saying that like we give more games away for free than PlayStation now. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe so.
But yeah. Okay, do you want to do Twitch as well?
Okay, so Twitch, there's 4 games. There is Star Vikings Forever, The King's Bird, Cabounce, and Snake Pass. I think that there's also Loot Crate for StarCraft 2 as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And there is for the next 3 months.
That's all right then, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's definitely worth it, especially if you are a Prime subscriber, because then you do get it for free.
Yeah, it's funny. None of those games sort of hit out at me at all, but I'm sure you know more about them more than me.
To be honest, they're not the best selection of games. They're all indie games.
Yeah.
Snake Pass is on Game Pass as well, and to be honest, it's very poor.
Yeah.
I thought the other ones don't really know that much about.
Okay, right. Should we move swiftly into gaming this week? As in what we've played?
Yep.
All right, if I do the boring Destiny bit first.
Well, I can jump in and the Destiny bit as well.
Yeah. Well, what I want to do, I want to talk about the next season.
Yeah.
But first of all, because I don't know if you knew that Gambit was triple Infamy this week.
I didn't know.
Okay. So
sorry, I did. I just didn't care.
It depends. It depends if you needed to go in it. What you're doing. So
yeah,
what I wanted to do, I wanted to get my third Infamy completed, which means then I would have unlocked everything that the Drifter can give you.
Yeah,
even though you do get a lot of it off the back through ranking up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I've also been trying to go for what you've got there. If you go in and look at the different stuff that you're ticking off in your list that you would do with the lore and everything else.
Yeah.
You can get a name above your head as titles.
Okay.
And the Drifter title, I'm 2 things to do to get the title. And the title's called The Dredgen. So I don't know if you've noticed people with like a purple name. If you've seen that, you might have noticed it, but not what that was.
I hadn't noticed it, to be honest.
Okay, so that will be a title of some sort, whether it's a title from the raid, from being in the Crucible or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've been dealing with that. So I'm down to 2 more things we're going to do. One of them is still hidden. I don't know what it is yet. The one I have to do, but I know about. I've got to go and invade and kill all 4 members of the team. It ain't easy.
No, there's a lot that's quite hard in Destiny now.
Yeah, but it's good. I still enjoy it, and I wanted to get that next level up anyway.
Yeah,
and I did that and finished that on I think it was Saturday afternoon. I did that because with Triple Infamy, remember you got all those bounties every day.
Yeah.
So if they're worth 100, they're worth 300. So you can really rank up, and if you haven't actually ranked up once yet, it's worth doing to get one of the weapons it gives you for ranking up as well. It'll give you a Masterworked. I think it's the Truss hand cannon, which is a brilliant weapon.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So this will come to an end on Tuesday, and there will be an update. There'll be a downtime for the servers to give us the next update. And Season of the Drifter will start. So did you see the Vidoc at all that Bungie showed?
No.
On Thursday?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so there's a couple of things off the back of this, which is quite good for how they want to work it. Now, as you know, that in this next season we'll be up in our level to 700.
Yeah.
And what are you at the moment?
629.
Okay. Well, the Drifter's going to have some new bounties, and they're going to be called Power Surge bounties.
Uh-huh.
And they will help you within probably a couple of hours to get you to at least 640, which for you will be right up your street.
Well, to be honest, on a Tuesday, I'll go up 10 levels because of all of the new bounties that are released on that day. Because I'll go through all of the ones and get the powerful gear that I need. So I'm expecting anyway to be 640 by this time next week, I think.
Well, you might be able to get there on at least 2 days into the new season.
So when did you say the new season was again? Tuesday, right, okay.
Yeah. So the new season will kick off. When you go to Gambit, you'll see they call it the Inner System Tour. Yeah. And you'll be able to go in there and just rank up really quickly because obviously they don't want people lagging behind. They understand that some people don't play as often as others.
Yeah.
So there'll be a downtime at 5 o'clock GMT, and that's 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Yeah.
The title is going to be called Season of the Drifter Gambit Prime. And Gambit Prime is the new PvE mode coming to Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Described as a higher risk, high rewards mode. And there'll be some new armour to collect with this. And what you're going to have, it's an armour which will have a certain colour glow to it. So you've got green, red, white and yellow.
Yep.
So you've got the Invader, the Sentry, the Reaper and the Collector. And as you can probably imagine, this is depending on roles, how you like to play Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So the Invader obviously likes to hunt for opponents and steal their motes on their side of the map. The Sentry will be the impartial will counter invaders and protect your bank. You have the Reaper, who's a sight of destruction, clears waves and slays larger enemies. And you've got the Collector, and he obviously gathers all the motes that you're trying to collect.
Right.
So what there's going to be teamwork in Gambit Prime. This will be... you don't have to have your own team. You can go in standalone and join like you can at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen is, once you've gained access to your first Gambit Prime, there is going to be, for the annual pass holders, a new activity called the Reckoning. And this is something that's linked to what the Drifter's been up to. And he's in sort of a cahoot with the 9.
Right.
Reserve.
Okay.
So there's going to be some stuff to learn about him, both of them, and this is going to be an activity similar to the Blind Well.
Right. In
a new area completely.
Okay.
And it looks. They showed it in the Vidoc. It looks pretty cool. So from this, you're going to be able to earn even better weapons and armor that's specifically can be used for the Reckoning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're going to have some new pinnacle weapons. I don't know how you got on with getting the Gambit break, the auto rifle, for example.
I'm still quite a way off that. Will that disappear?
No, it won't. They're going to let them come, but they're going to have 3 more new weapons.
Right.
So you're going to have the Spare Rations hand cannon, the Sole Survivor sniper, and the Doomsday grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And what's good about that is, again, same idea. You can collect the bounty, the quest for them, and just work those through the grind sessions you're doing when you're playing the game.
Okay.
Also, we have the Invitation of the 9. Now, from March the 15th, we've got a new quest line called that, which you're going to learn more about the mysterious beings and the picking up of the completely wiki bounties from Xur.
Mm-hmm.
So what's great now with him, obviously, we haven't got anything that's been any decent, is picking up some of the old weapons, bits and pieces. But with these bounties, there's going to be a quest that's going to run for 9 weeks.
Right.
So you have a chat with Xur when he reappears each week, and you pick up invitation bounties to move through these quests. So that would be interesting to do. Also, we got the Allegiance quest. This is a main story mission where you choose. Now, but this is something else that's pretty cool, because if you don't fancy Gambit, you can go for the Vanguard. So what you do is you choose between those two to change the course of the story for Destiny 2 for you.
Okay.
So I might go for the Drifter personally, but you can, if you've got a second character, do the Vanguard on the other.
Yeah.
So we'll have that to do. Also, something that everyone's known about, and it's been put out there in the wild now, that the Thorn is coming back.
Best hand cannon around.
I tend to disagree at the minute with what I'm using, but I'm using the Malfeasance hand cannon at the moment.
Right.
And that really rips into PvE and PvP quite a lot when I'm playing games.
I like the residual damage that it keeps doing on the Thorn.
Yes, it does hang around, doesn't it?
Mm.
When you're running away.
It's a thorn in your side.
Oh, absolutely. Very good. Yeah, that's it. So, what was I go back to a minute ago? I was talking about the pinnacle weapons, wasn't I? Earlier on. Mm-hmm. For the Reckoning. So the Vanguard one is called the Oxygen SR3 Scout Rifle. The Crucible is going to be a Recluse submachine gun, and Gambit's going to be a machine gun itself.
Right. Okay.
So that's quite good. Also, there will be 2 in-game events for Season of Drifter. One's called the Arc Week and the Reveille Festival. The Arc Week begins on April the 9th, and the Revelry runs from April the runs from April the 16th to May the 6th for Revelry as well. Not sure what this is going to be, but a couple of good things to look forward to a bit later in the months to come. So I think from all of that's not bad going.
Yeah, it's quite a bit there.
That'll get people off of Anthem.
Don't want them off Anthem, though.
No. I say, a lot of people, I think, a lot of Destiny people have given Destiny a break to play Anthem at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those ones that's going to ping pong between.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So, I'm going to have to clear out my vault a bit now. Because it's still full.
That's not a surprise, though, because you have to do this every time.
Yeah, well, they've not said they're going to... One thing they haven't said is if they're going to increase it or not.
To be honest, I'm really not sure about the point of the vault, because most of the time, unless you hit max light level, like you have, you end up with just not going back to the weapons that you've lost. It's only for exotics, really, that you go back and then maybe boost them up, or a particularly good weapon.
Yeah, but it's funny, sometimes I'll pick up, like I picked up a couple of exotics for the first time off the bounce, and they're both ones I've already got. So I just go and infuse them into some of my older ones that I need to up their numbers. But to be honest, the other thing also is that some of the weapons will give different rolls anyway.
Yeah. So
if you get one of the ones you've hardly touched, it'll come with an extra roll. So you probably delete the other one and keep that one.
Yeah. And when you say roll, what you mean, for those people who don't know, is each weapon has 1, 2, or 3 perks. Yes. And those perks will be different. So one might have faster reload, one might have a better zoom, etc.
So
or higher impact or whatever.
Or exploding, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, exploding rounds.
Yeah. So looking forward to that on Tuesday. I'm on call this week, coming Monday. I always seem to go on call when there's a decent Destiny update. But that's all right. I can cope with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want anything else you want to talk about? We'll leave Anthem till last. Do you know anything else other than that you want to?
Well, Destiny have been playing both PC and Xbox, so I've got up to 629 on my character. Had a game with Chris last night.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a quiet soul. I did text him today, but he didn't answer me back. So
yeah, well, me and Chris tried to do the Nightfall, and we just couldn't finish it, because it's that one where you have the servitor, in that arena where Cabal and Vex and all that start spawning in it, and then it blasts out, enough solar light to give you a really crispy suntan.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I think, was Chris on holiday this week, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I'll give him a ring tomorrow morning then, when he's on his probably cheery self back to work.
So, yeah. So that's on the Xbox. And then on the PC, I've got my light level up this week from 320 to over 500. Which isn't too bad going for a week. And that's not with being super concentrated on doing PC.
No.
So, quite happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find what my rank is on Gambit at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's another game I've played, actually. I'll mention it in a minute.
Another game? You mean you've played more than one game?
Yes, and it's on my phone.
On your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Let
me just switch it on now. Now, it's a good little 5-10 minute bit of fun.
Go on then.
And it's called Jaws.io.
Right.
And what you are either the shark or a boat. And when you're the shark, you start munching all the swimmers.
Yeah.
As quick as you can. And all the boats, and you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't really enjoy a lot of mobile phone games. I don't know about yourself and how you feel about them. They're just...
Well, we've got a question about this later on about mobile phone games.
Download this and see what you think. It's all free.
Okay.
And I think it's sort of online as well. So just take a little gander at that and tell me what you think, and then we can maybe talk about it and maybe next week.
Yeah.
But I found that I think I tell you what, I know how I got it. I follow the Daily Jaws on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I also follow on Instagram, and that's where I saw the advert for it. So I'm level 5 at the minute, my shark. Anyway, yeah, sorry I was interrupting you. So what else have you played this week?
I've played Trials Rising.
Oh, the beta, yeah?
No. The full-on release.
Oh, okay.
Because it's out. Was out this week.
Yeah.
And it's more Trials, basically. It's, graphically looks just the same as Trials has done, I think probably since the days of 360, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because graphically, Trials was always a really good looking game, and it still looks absolutely fantastic. Obviously, you've got many, many more courses to go at. I'm about level 11 because there's a new leveling system on it. And I'm about level 11 or 12, and it's still having me doing easy tracks. Was
it expensive, by the way?
No, it's $19.99 on CD keys, but it's £20.99 in store. So it's not a massive amount of money. And to be honest, I think it's a good job it's not a massive amount of money, because while there are differences, it's not a quantum leap sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
There's no Sam Beckett in this then?
No, and there's no Ziggy or anyone else either. But, definitely the absence of Dean Stockwell in there. But in terms of it as an actual game, the play style has never really changed on Trials, and the controls haven't.
It's really, each level you try, it's going to take you numerous times to attempt it to get it to a reasonable score, isn't it? It's funny, there's only one thing I remember about Trials that always made me smile. Yeah. And that was, I don't know if it was I think it was in the first one, was when you're on your bike, you explode and you've got to get that body as far forward as you can. There's some
levels of that, yeah.
I did enjoy that, and my kids used to play that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good fun.
Yeah, and it still is good fun. It's one of those games where you're going wrong, but for some reason you just can't stop yourself. Do you know what I mean? Sort of.
It's funny, because it's that rinse repeat, isn't it, to get better.
It is.
And if the missus is sitting there, she could never understand why I play games like this. She said, well, wait, that's boring. You keep trying to do the same thing again. Yeah, but I'm trying to better myself.
And I don't know about you, but you know that you can either press B or restart the level. I normally try and restart it. I don't do the B and then just carry on from the last checkpoint.
No, if I know I failed at a point, I might start again. Because I want to get that first bit right, and you try to build off of that, don't you?
But, so there's a new scoring system. It's still based around stars that you can get.
Yeah.
I've played it for a couple of hours, and I haven't unlocked another bike yet. And like I said, the levels are still on easy. And they're not that easy, to be fair, some of them. Having said that, though, some of it was also my own stupidity when I started playing it, because I'd forgot I'd switched the trigger limiter on my Xbox controller to be a short trigger. When I was accelerating, I wasn't accelerating at full speed, and I was just not quite making some of the jumps.
It's like you got your moped set for that when you're not trying to speed.
Yeah, it's just sort of like it was attached to a bungee. To be honest, I'm amazed that I made some of the jumps that I did. Completed courses when, after I realised that I'd switched it off and gone back to the courses, I just completely creamed them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a good game. It's enjoyable. It's one of those ones that if you don't want to break your controller, don't play it, because you'll end up throwing your controller at some point with it.
And because you've had games like that in the past that you feel should be easier to play,
and they're not.
I mean, I think I didn't really get into the last one that much. I probably could go back to the last game, to be honest.
Yeah.
And play that one.
Well, the last game's great as well.
Mm.
All of the Trials games have been good.
Yeah.
Even the one that was merged with the shooter, which I forgot what it was called. Trials of the Blood Dragon.
That's
yeah.
right, yeah.
That one was quite good fun as well because you had that bit of variety. You had some of the difficult courses, although they were a bit dumbed down, to be fair. But for just normal level, just, that fine line between not having to grind too much and just having enjoyment to, it being a pain and, that you're compelled to get past. I think that they hit it right on Trials of the Blood Dragon. This one, I think they've hit right as well because there's some stuff that you can do and you think, no, I could have definitely done that better. I'll do it in a different way. But the levels, not the levels, but the tracks are delivered differently as well because on the original, the last game, you had a set number of tracks for a particular level, as it were. Well, not character level, but, you had like 10 or 12 tracks all in a row that you completed. Then you could go on to the next lot of tracks, which had a different kind of environment. It's not like that now. You're just given a map of America or wherever it is, and then these different points pop up and you can just click on the ones that have popped up and choose which one you want to go on to. Mm-hmm. And it'll tell you what level you are, and some of them have more than one track for you to go at. So it's just a different way of delivering it. There is a loot crate system in, but it's a loot crate that every time you level up, you get a loot crate. I didn't investigate if you could buy them. I think you can. And buy, like some sort of in-game currency, but you can also earn it.
It's not pay to win then? You're not sure?
No, it's all cosmetic items. So it's, although I think you might be able to buy better bikes or different bikes, but
are they more powerful than others?
I don't know because they're hidden and I haven't bothered looking.
Okay.
So the way that they always used to do it, where it was like something that was overcovered, it's that sort of still delivery in there.
Yeah, you got just a dark shader for an image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So well worth the asking price, I think. If you like the previous Trials, you'll like this. It's more of the same, and there is also an editor in there as well, but I've not ventured into that. So
yes, because you can build your own course.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's some quite good fun jumping over trains and stuff like that in there.
Just being evil Knievel, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So, tell us about Anthem, Steve.
Well,
and what you didn't like about it.
No,
because I'm feeling it's that.
Well, I kept staying away from it because of all the hate and all the problems it was having.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my 10 hours. So I'm going to sit there, sitting for a server to let me in. There's no point.
Yeah.
Because I don't need another shooter in my life like this at the minute. But I wanted to still try it,
Yeah.
And just to see what it's like, because I know you've really got into it now, and you're sort of really liking the game, aren't you?
Yes.
So I've started playing the, I suppose it's a tutorial, isn't it? I would put it.
The opening level.
Yeah, and it's with a load of cutscenes. I just want to I want to play, stop showing me cutscenes,
Yeah.
But that's by the by, really. It's just the way it works. And I got to the end. I got it to when it's like a movie sometimes. You wait for the movie to actually start, don't you? And it come up with the screen with the movie name and that. And Anthem eventually kicked in and started. And it's all right. It's not fantastic. And I've only just got my first mission to do. I've left it at that point because I was going to maybe at some point do it with you if we can, because then you can show me the ropes as you've been on it a bit more than I have.
Yeah.
Because I'm still trying to work out the leveling system and the weapons and everything else that builds this game into what it is.
And what sort of javelin that you're using? Which one did you go for?
I went for when you saw them on the screen.
Yeah.
I went for the one at the bottom.
I can't remember what did it look like? What was its function?
Very sleek-like and slim.
Right, okay, I've just started on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get going, but it was so much sitting around waiting and chatting to people that I didn't want. Now, I'm sure this is really an introduction to some of these characters.
Yes. Yeah, there is a lot of that.
And there's a lot of running around Fortarsis, is that what it's called, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, Fort Tarsis.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I'd say I've got to start that first mission. I did find the flying a bit wonky at first.
Yes. It's
something that you got to get used to,
especially
when you're going to go through there was these circles of tunnels. I'm hitting the ceiling, then he drops out of flying and hits to the floor, and you got to walk. So
you do know how to get around that, don't you? You fly through water, or you do a very deep dive, and it cools your engines.
Yes, I knew about that. But what I mean, if you do hit while flying and hits a part of the structure.
Oh yeah, you just dropped.
It just annoyed me. I think, no, why can't I just bounce off it?
Yeah.
The other thing that annoyed me was the loading time still.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about the game now.
I could actually probably go and play a game on my phone and then have dinner and come back. It felt like that.
It's not been loaded on a Commodore 64. Come on, it's not that bad.
I was watching. Maybe
if you want to see how much Steve is exaggerating, just go onto my Twitch channel where I've streamed it. You'll see it's about 20 or 30 seconds for a load.
I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, obviously.
A little bit, well, sort of like by about a couple hours.
Yeah, but I could go into Destiny, do a quest, and come back.
Yeah, and the game will have booted you out because you've been gone too long.
Yeah. So I really am just trying to touch base with it. I'm not sure the whys and whats to do at the moment. I did look at the character briefly. There's 6 or 7 points for choosing how you want to build the character.
Yeah.
And what you attach to the character.
Yeah.
So I'm still in the learning stage. But yeah, it ain't Destiny. Nowhere near like Destiny. I don't know why I think they are two separate games.
Well, for a start off, Destiny is a first-person shooter. This is a third-person game.
Yeah.
Apart from, on Destiny, when you're in the tower, it's third-person, but when you're in Fort Tarsis on Anthem, it's first-person.
I know, it gets a bit confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do things the opposite way around to each other.
Yeah. Now, I was trying to work out about the loot system.
Okay.
Now, there was these coloured drops I could see lying around, which I assume was loot.
Yeah, some of them will be like weaponry. Some of them will be just like materials.
Yeah. Now, apparently, you can look at them while you're there, can't you? You don't have to decrypt them at full tasks, do you?
No, just pick it all up as I go along. You just run past it and it picks it up.
Right.
You don't have to press X or anything like that.
Is there limits to how much you can hold?
I haven't come across a limit so far.
Right.
There might be, but I haven't come across it.
And because I haven't found it in Fortarsis yet, is there like a vault, for example, or is it just imaginary in the backpack of your character?
There is a vault, yeah. There is a vault that you can stick stuff. I've not used it yet. But the other thing that you have is the forge. So after you've done the first couple of missions, you'll unlock the forge, which is the first thing that you unlock.
I think I had to unlock it theoretically when I did the first mission. And then it said, just turn round to this console, unlock it, and then I got in and was going to do the first mission.
Right. Okay. So you've.
But I didn't know what it was for yet. I didn't really.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking into it. I was just trying to get some gameplay in, really.
Right. So if I explain the way that I understand it, because it might not necessarily be how it actually is.
Yeah.
Because I've not played it like mega hours, but I've been playing it a good few. You have 4 types of javelin, which is your mech suit.
Yeah.
So the types that you have are the ranger, which is a very versatile, your jack of all trades, master of none. You have the colossus, which is, your, heavy damage,
He's the biggest looking character.
He is, yeah, he's massive. The next one you have is your interceptor. And that one is quite sleek looking.
I think that's what I went for.
Yeah, and that's the smallest, most agile javelin, but obviously has the worst shielding and stuff like that.
Oh, that's my luck, isn't it?
And then you have Storm.
That's right. I nearly went for that when I was thinking of sort of X-Men style when I was thinking about that at the time.
Yeah, and that's one, basically, it's an elemental javelin suitable for dealing damage from a distance.
Yeah.
I started off on Storm. And when you start off on a javelin, You have to stick with that until you can unlock the ability to go to a different javelin.
Right.
And then you stick with that. Oh, I think you have to stick with that till the next time.
Is it so? Don't you have to don't you earn so many points that would unlock another javelin then, or something like that?
Yeah, you earn XP as you're going along.
Yeah.
But once you hit the level, you can then move to a different type. So even if you deleted your character and started the game fresh, you would still have to have an interceptor until you hit level 8. And it does tell you that at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So I started off with the Storm, and I really like the character. It allows you to hover, although I couldn't figure out how to actually get you to hover on it. I kept doing it accidentally, and when I tried to redo it, I just couldn't get there.
Was this from just clicking the button?
It was. Yeah. But I've since moved over. Since I've hit level 8, I moved over to the Interceptor, and I'm not quite as keen on that one. The difference is basically you have these elemental attacks, which you can chain as well, and you're supposed to. So you have frost, and then you'll hit them with that, freeze them, and then hit them with a shockwave of lightning, and that'll do additional damage, combo damage.
Okay.
The Interceptor, I think you have grenades instead. So you collect resources from around the around the world, and as you're doing missions. And that's very much a bit like Destiny, going up to a plant or whatever, and then pressing X and it pops out.
Yeah.
When you're shooting, enemies or whatever, they'll do drops which you can pick up, like health, bullets, all of that sort of thing. And at the end of missions, you might get blueprints for new weapons.
Right.
When you get the blueprints, you can go to the forge, and if you've got enough resources, you can build that weapon, which will give you maybe a better class of weapon, different sort of stats, all of that sort of stuff. And then you can equip that and use that instead, or as well as, or whatever.
Yeah, I think I need a bit more diving in then to this game.
Yeah. I think the thing that annoys me the most about the actual, in terms of the gameplay, is if you go into an enemy base and it has to do a load, which is a bit naughty because they said that this would be streamless gaming.
Yeah.
Or seamless rather, not streamless. But if you have to go into a different area where it reloads, then it automatically sets your weapon back to your primary rather than stick you on the weapon that you're on. So, for example, which is normally the default weapon for that character, or, the nearest to it which you've got installed, whereas the default weapon for the Storm was like a scout rifle, and I was wanting to use a machine gun, and it's really annoying for the first second until you realise and have to swap the weapons around.
Yeah.
So, just like on Destiny as well, you also have a super ability, which this super restores your health and your shields and all of that sort of thing as well. So, it can be used quite tactically if your, health is getting low. If your health does get completely depleted, your armour shuts down and you have to wait for somebody to revive you, which I've been playing with quite a few idiots who just don't bother reviving people, which is annoying. Now,
I've got a question for you. So, these missions, can you do them solo?
Every one, unless I've got into free roam, it's always spawned me in a team.
Right. Because I don't want to go in with I'd like to learn it first a bit. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind, I don't mind a bit of Crucible or any sort of multiplayer. But I don't like to look a complete idiot. And because the game's been out a bit, some of these missions I assume are going to be characters that have got.
I wouldn't worry about it because, to be honest, a lot of the way that the game works, people are just too busy doing their own thing, and the battles can get quite intense. So you're not really keeping an eye on oh, that person's not pulling the weight, or what on earth are they doing? The scanner is a bit weird because you have a compass, goes north, south, east and west.
Yeah.
And then it shows you on the compass like a red blip when you're on that sort of part of the compass, but it doesn't really show otherwise. And if you're near something that's a collectible, this like little mini scanner comes on that points you in a general direction, but it does mean you can be wandering around a little bit. I think that they should have done it a bit more Destiny-esque in terms of the scanner, to be honest. I think that they could have learnt more from Destiny there. But in terms of gameplay, it's great fun to play. All of these people who are hating on it, my question would be, so how many of you have actually played it? Because...
I mean, I'm hearing rumours that the game's starting to come down in price already. Is that true?
Yeah, I think it is. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much if it is or it isn't.
No,
because
what it was is that but sometimes that can hurt a game, especially in its development cycle. If this is meant to be a long-term shooter, the same way, because Destiny, don't forget, Destiny did have a few ups and downs.
And I think that what you've got to remember is that this is Destiny, or it's on the Destiny path, I should say.
Yeah.
So this is the vanilla game, and there's lots of free content that's planned as well.
Okay. So I was reading a story where they were saying that this is one of EA's worst games. Now, whether or not that was just a clickbait story for people to click, I don't know. I just
it'll be clickbait. It will be, because what EA are wanting to happen is the funding going forward for like the new content will be people buying cosmetic items. So this will be better material for inside of your Javelin, paint jobs, stickers, all of that sort of thing, or, slightly different looks for your Javelin, but they don't actually have any real consequence for your game. Which is fine, because if people want to do that, there's nothing the matter with people, doing personalisation. And to be fair, you can, if you want to, grind to get the in-game currency to do this. But I think someone worked it out, you're talking about looking at, daily grinds for weeks before you actually will be able to get like one new design for whichever Javelin that you've got.
Yeah, okay.
Which is fair enough. If that's how they're going to pay for free content to be delivered to us, I'm quite happy if someone wants to go and make themselves have a bright pink and fluorescent green Javelin so that they can really stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
As if that gives me a free a new bit of story.
Yeah, true.
So it's horses for courses. It's what people want to spend the money on, and who are we to say that they shouldn't be able to? But at least not going down the lines of they're doing this and making you pay for a season pass.
Yeah. Okay. Any more you'd like to talk about on that? I can't really say too much at the minute. I only just started the game, so. Yeah.
No, not any more from me, I don't think.
Okay, cool. So next time will be the second half of the show, if we can call it. It'd be movies, TVs and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
So, Haydn, what favourable news have we got this week?
Right, well, a bit of news about Games of Thrones, or rather, I should say, the prequel. So, as we know, about to launch is the final season of Game of Thrones, and HBO's ordered to pilot a prequel that will take place thousands of years before the Songs of Ice and Fire storyline.
Okay, from season 1, yeah?
Well, no, the whole of Game of Thrones, season 1, 2, whatever. So the network promises that this is going to be a new part of the Game of Thrones universe, which we are not yet familiar with. Basically, what they're saying is that it's sort of like a time of, you know, like big heroes and whatever, but there's this like coming something, a bit like this one now. But, you know, obviously there's dragons and all of that sort of stuff, many more than there is in this one, because we've only got, 3 dragons in this one, whereas I think this is a time when the whole of Westeros is still infested by dragons. But there's no King's Landing and all of that sort of thing. This is well before those were established. Naomi Watts will star. She's been on King Kong and The Ring. And she's been the first actress to be announced. However, we don't know what role that she's going to play about a character.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anything else have you got? We have something else I was going to... It's not written now. I wanted to have a quick talk about and see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, apparently Rami Malek's going to be the next Bond villain.
Well, he's been in talks, hasn't he, allegedly?
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, I can't think... I haven't seen him in much, really. His career, I don't know how long what he's been doing, other than we've done some gaming that we've played.
Yeah.
Some of his characters for that, and obviously we've seen him in Robot and Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'm assuming he's been in big demand since he's picked up the Oscar.
I mean... Is it me, or is he like a bit young to be a Bond villain? I'm not trying to be ageist there. I'm just, just as a thought.
I don't know. I mean, Bond villains of old have never been that young, have they?
No, I think that the youngest one was the last Pierce Brosnan one, wasn't he? You know, the one who was a Korean who was genetically changed to be white.
Yeah.
I think he was the youngest Bond villain at that point.
Mm. And he's very tiny. He's only 5'9". He's a bit small, isn't he?
Well, that doesn't mean anything, to be honest.
No, I don't know. What I mean is, as characters go, you see villains need to be big and brouch, but where you've got like someone that's maybe a bit smaller,
Yeah. I'm just not sure how he'll work as a Bond villain. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, we have to say the story will build, and if anything does come out, I'm sure we'll hear about it.
I'm sure we will.
But yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting actually, because because I say Bond's having a rough patch at the minute, I think.
Yeah, it has been since Daniel Craig became Bond, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people now are starting to feel that Bond has had a bit of a rocky road with Daniel Craig.
I think the thing is, and
it's down to the storylines as well.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something, in terms of I think that there are things that directors are doing nowadays, thinking that they're being edgy. And I remember reading about, this week, about the new X-Men movie that's coming out. And spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know, stop listening now. But evidently they're going to kill off Mystique.
You can't do that.
Well, evidently they are. And the director said, we wanted to do something edgy, yeah? And his idea of edgy is killing off a primary character in the X-Men universe, who's already been established in the same universe to exist 20 years later. So it's utterly ridiculous. But, and this is where I'm really sort of like struggling nowadays with these directors, because we've had the debacle of The Last Jedi with being edgy by throwing out the baby with the bathwater of what happened in The Force Awakens to what happened, to the lack of events in The Last Jedi, other than Luke being becoming a, moping baby and Mary Sue. So we've had that. We've also had the whole thing of Bond is, the step or the adopted brother of Blofeld.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you'd have gone back 20 years ago and said, we're going to kill off a main character, 20 years ago, that would have been edgy.
Yeah.
But the problem is now everybody's doing it.
Well, it's not just that, it's the way that films are being so PC these days that I think that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. But
And because you've got a not, I won't say a script. You've got a way of getting from A to B in a movie, and now there's this criteria you sometimes have to take.
Yeah,
which you never used to be able to, never needed to do because you've got to be in line with everything else.
Yeah, but I just think nowadays that directors and the writers of these movies still think that they're in the 80s and early 90s. And they're coming up with these edgy ideas of let's kill off so-and-so, let's make so-and-so, the brother, and all of this, that, and the other. And it's ridiculous because it doesn't work anymore because we have actually become to expect them. And you look and you just go, oh, yeah, fine. They've just done something stupid. So quit it, I think is the message.
Yeah. There's also one other bit of news I wanted to share with you, if you've seen it. Now, I'm just going to send something to your phone. Now, guys, you're going to have to look this up yourself, or we just want a quick talk about it. Have you seen that picture I've just sent you of Simon Pegg? And he's
Jesus.
He's had to slim down for a new movie role, and I cannot believe how he looks now.
He looks like a cross between being starved and being ripped.
Well, he's both, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks like an anorexic weightlifter.
I keep staring at it thinking it's going to change because I'm so mesmerised with what I'm looking at. Do you know what I mean?
Seriously, he looks like an anorexic weightlifter. That's the way to describe him. And
you should see some of the, I say, on Twitter, some of the remarks of saying, like, you need to eat a burger, mate.
I'm not, he doesn't look healthy.
He doesn't, does he? But anyway, yeah. Check out. I'm sure if you look at Simon's account on Twitter or wherever, just Google it and you'll come across the picture. Mm. It's just incredible, and they have the time to do this. Do you know what I mean? In their lives. But yeah, that was interesting. I thought my missus actually picked up on it and said, "Look at this." I said, because then I was looking at a picture of him from Fat Boy. Was it Fat Boy Run or something?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
And he was just sort of average then, wasn't he? But man, yeah, as if Tom Cruise put him up. Just I do not know.
Could you imagine if Nick Frost went and did that?
He'd have to tuck it in.
Well, he'd look like the character of Austin Powers after he lost all the weight with like the drooping skin.
Yeah, because you have to have surgery done for that. You have to get all cut and be sewn up again.
Yeah. Oh.
But anyway, that's just something I thought I'd like to show you.
He looks like an anorexic weightlifter. It's the only way to describe it. Anyway.
Cinema releases then. So March is going to be becoming really interesting this month, isn't it? So we have got Captain Marvel for the 8th of March onwards. We have got Border. Everybody knows Miss Bala and the Kindergarten Teacher.
Yeah.
And have you booked tickets to go and see Captain Marvel yet?
Not yet, no. Not yet. Evidently there's Brie Larson is causing a whole proverbial poo storm on the internet because of some of her tweets and about, all of her political correctness.
Is this feminist stuff, is it?
And all of that agenda.
Give it a break, please.
To be honest, can we just have films that don't have agendas but are just entertaining for everybody? And let's not discriminate, but let's just have a film we can just enjoy without saying that, this is pro-women or pro-men or, pro-apple ties. Do you know what I mean? It's just, let's just have a movie we can enjoy.
I tell you what, let's just bring back a movie like On the Buses or something like that, and you put that on, and then you see what the life's really like.
God, On the Buses, Jesus!
Just to give us back what we used to have, the way I used to film stuff,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But anyway, do you want to do the DVD releases? Blue?
All right, there's some interesting movies and whatever.
There's some goody ones.
Yes, there is an Audience with the Goodies DVD.
I did love that TV show.
Yeah. I'm also seeing a silhouette of a man because Bohemian Rhapsody is released.
Do you know what? I'm tempted. I'm so tempted to pick it up tomorrow.
I am picking it up. There is no two ways about it. I am.
Because I as I said earlier, I watched. I did stream some today to have a little look at it, and even the missus stopped what she was doing and went, "Look," I said, "Isn't he do this? Isn't he do this well?" I don't want to make this the Queen show because you know what it can be like when we talk about things we really
I seem to remember somebody criticising me for promoting this film. Steve.
Did I? Oh, no. Anyway, no, because I'm just saying, because, as I say, I think the Oscar's well deserved, and just seeing how his mannerisms to play him, because I've seen many interviews with him back in the day, and it does look really interesting.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I have been telling you this for 6 months.
Yeah. And what was really funny was the guy that plays Roger Taylor, excuse me, wasn't he in EastEnders?
I don't know.
I've got a funny feeling he was actually he left EastEnders and he played he went to play in an X-Men movie.
I don't remember.
You know the guy. Do you remember the X-Men movie where there was a guy who had his wings hidden and his dad wanted to clip them?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was X-Men 3.
Yeah, it's him.
Is it? I hadn't noticed.
Anyway, that's by the by. But no. I don't know where. Am I next for Tesco's tomorrow or something like that?
Well, I'm gonna go to Tesco before I go to work.
No, well, I've got an early start tomorrow, and I think there's a Tesco or an Asda quite close. Anyway, do you want to carry on with what we've got?
Okay, so House of Cards Season 6 on Blu-ray and DVD. We've got Krypton Season 1 on DVD. Why DVD? It was filmed in HD. Let's have it on a Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
And also The Doctors, the Colin Baker years, on DVD.
Yeah, again, why DVD?
Well, presumably because Blu-ray didn't exist and neither did HD.
Well, to be honest, unless they're going to be retweaked a bit, the DVD, the Blu-ray will be a waste of time, maybe.
Maybe. I think that would probably be the case. But
because I still have a few. If I turn round, I've got 4 box sets of DVDs from reboot season 1 onwards. So that's like 3 of David Tennant's seasons I've got there, and I've got the Christopher Eccleston season as well.
Well, I've only got 3 seasons of Star Trek on Blu-ray. And, you know, that's the original series, Enterprise, and Discovery. So I haven't got the Next Generation version. Yeah,
and my older DVD, I've got a big stack. I've actually got, Rocky's sitting here playing at the minute. Not that I'm watching it, but I've got quite a few DVDs still that I wouldn't throw out because I don't have Blu-ray versions of them. And I've also got some BBC Doctor Who ones that are going back to the early years.
Yeah.
So I've got about 4 or 5 different Dalek stories. One from like Tom Baker, one from Peter Davison, and so on and so forth.
Well, I recently got rid of my Doctor Who collection because, to be honest, I'll watch it, but I've never been that much of a big fan. You know, it's one of those programs I'll watch it because it's on and because it's sci-fi, rather than because I'm a big, massive fan. Although I do seem to get very nerdy about the lore of it for some reason. But
why? Yeah, what did you do with them then? Did you just bin them?
No, just took them to CEX. I got back a decent amount because it was like the Trial of a Time Lord. So I picked it up for next to nothing, and I think I actually made money on it when I took it back. So
I've got the special edition of the 5 Doctors.
I've got that as well,
which is a fantastic one, and also what it is, the special edition is they tweaked the special effects in it, and the soundtrack as well.
I'll tell you what I have got. The Doctor Who was never really recognised as Doctor Who.
Well, I've got the Doctor Who movie, if that's what you're talking about.
The Peter Cushing ones.
Oh, no, I've got those as well. I've got both of those Dalek stories, aren't they? I've got them in a box set. But I do have the Doctor Who movie that was made for Americans.
Well, there was only one that was made, and because that was the one who came after Paul McGann. It was Paul McGann.
That's it. That's that one. I've got that as well. So, because in the beginning of that, you see... Oh, Sylvester McCoy, bless him.
Yeah.
Before he regenerates. But yeah, no. I can't see a lot more. Looking at that list you've got there, The Blood and the Satan's Claw I remember very well.
Yeah.
I think that was a Hammer story. And you got a few Sharknado movies still going away there. And Maurice rings a bell, but I can't think what it is. But, okay. So I'll let you do the cinema charts and I'll do the Blu-ray DVD.
Okay, cinema charts for this week. We have at number 5, The Kid Who Would Be King. That looks awful. At number 4, we have Alita Battle Angel, which I still want to see. Number 3, we have How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden Kingdom. At number 2, we have Instant Family. And at number 1, everything is still awesome because it's the Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, I think that's there because it's been half term.
I think it is as well.
So that'll probably change next week.
Yeah.
So, Blu-ray DVD chart. So, new at 5, we've got Goosebumps 2. From 2 down to 4, we have Venom. From 1 to 3, we have A Star Is Born. In at 2, we have Johnny English Strikes Again. And number 1, we have First Man.
Yeah.
Which I do want to see.
I have seen First Man.
I wasn't going to say that. It's in your list. I will
tell you my thoughts on it very shortly.
Okay. Anyway, so let's go to what we've been watching. So it looks like it's just movies this week.
It is.
Okay, so my first one, I'm going to talk about The Quiet Place. Have you seen that?
Yes, I've got it on Blu-ray.
Oh, you actually bought it?
Yes.
It was better than I expected.
I really enjoyed it as a movie, actually, to be fair.
I think this is a very clever film as well.
It is.
Especially when you're sort of getting to realise that they've literally got a can't say a word. And obviously with one of the daughters who is deaf anyway, using sign language as a way not to talk is probably the greatest thing they've ever needed to do.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got the couple, they're actually married in real life, aren't they? So
yes.
That must have worked pretty well. Must have worked on top of each other. It just seems like doing your day job and going home and still being together. So, you know.
Well, they can help each other out on the lines, can't they?
That's it. And obviously he directed it. I can never think of his name now. I can never remember his name. Lee Abbott's his name. John Krasinski.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was a good cast. They did very well. I did wince with that now. And why didn't they not knock the nail out as soon as they realised they made a mistake with it sitting there like that?
God only knows.
Because we were both sitting there sort of just waiting for their foot to go on it. I mean, oh dear, that was dreadful.
Yeah.
But overall, a great different story, great idea. The way this is going to perform with the sequel, I do not know. Because it's going to apparently go into production, and without spoiling the end, that's my thought about that. Mm. The creatures were pretty cool.
They were.
You didn't need to see enough of them because they were very fast.
I quite like that sort of thing of you never really quite see what's going on, you know, in terms of the aliens. You know, where they do, I mean, I know that they showed them, but more the hints and, you know, bits of body parts or whatever, yeah. Like hands or whatever.
Well, they reminded me of the bugs in another movie that you liked.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Just had a little bit of a feel about them.
Yeah.
But this sort of, I'm not surprised if this movie could be turned into a TV series.
I'm not so sure, to be honest.
But yeah, it's very different. I'm glad I didn't see it in the cinema because I normally like to have a munch in the cinema, and because it's a very quiet film, you couldn't make a lot of noise, you know. But like sometimes with movies, especially with some of the public in the cinemas. Yeah. But no, overall, just a really good film. I'm glad I watched it. Actually, we watched these two movies in one evening, so not often I do that, but it was two different complete stories to watch. And the second one, Serenity, I need you to watch it.
Right.
Have you got Sky, haven't you? You got Sky
No.
Cinema? Well, if you can pick it up anywhere to watch it, do, because the title doesn't give much away. As much as I will tell you this now, Serenity is the name of his boat.
Right.
Okay.
This is him off Interstellar, isn't it?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Yeah. So the basic. I don't want to give anything away about this story because I sort of twigged by the end of it how this was going to turn out. But this guy, his name's Baker, and he's got a fishing boat in this island called Plymouth, and he goes out taking tourists fishing for tuna. And the first bit of the film, without, I don't want to give anything really away, but he's got a bit of an obsession. There's a big fish out there, sort of like the Moby Dick idea. And he's had a bit of a tough life overall, and can be a bit of a drunk and so on and so forth. And he can lose it a little bit as well, because he had a wife and a child. And the base of the story, this isn't really a spoiler. This is really the outline of what his wife turns up out of nowhere, which is played by Anne Hathaway, or say his ex-wife, and she's been in a 10-year relationship, so it's been a long time since he's seen her. And her husband's an out-and-right git, and a bit of he's got a lot of money, and he knows a lot of people. And she's asking him to take him out on that boat and kill him and feed him to the sharks. But I didn't expect the story. Well, I guessed it in the end how the story was going to finish. But I think it's well. Even the missus said she enjoyed it because we were sort of chatting through the film as we were, and I'm saying, "Oh, do you know what? X, Y, Z, blah blah blah." I said, "I think I know this is going to go," you know. But I think it's worth a watch if you've got Sky Movies. Take out a couple of hours, hour and a half, and watch it.
I'm sure it'll be on Netflix or something soon, anyway.
Yeah, because I'm just going to say this because it's classed as a drama. Mystery, sci-fi. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. That's how it's...
So it's sort of like Bermuda Triangle, I take it, is the...
I'm not going to say anything about it, but yeah, but that's what it's classed as, a drama, mystery, sci-fi. And do you know what, I enjoyed it. Okay. And it's got a 5.2 star rating, which isn't massive, but say its Metacritic score isn't great either, but I did enjoy it overall. So... do you want to tell us about your movies?
Okay, well, I've got 3 to talk about. The first one is First Man.
Yeah.
So this is the dramatisation of Neil Armstrong, who was the first man on the moon, for those people who have been living in the rock since 1969. And
are we going to go allegedly now? Because there's some conspiracy theories saying he didn't, but then again, we're not here to talk about that.
Me and my friend John, we were both chatting about this yesterday because he thinks it's all, a conspiracy and bonkum.
Yeah.
And I don't. So John can't help being wrong. Anyway, moving on. I'm sure he'll kill me now.
I'm glad I haven't got you as a real friend. I say that
now. Anyway, so what do you mean you haven't got me as a real friend?
No, I don't. What I mean is, actually, I don't see you often. I don't see you as a human being.
No, you just hear my voice.
Yeah, that's enough.
Thanks a lot, mate.
I don't mean that, Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so it's a story about it. So it takes it from him, being a test pilot, testing supersonic aircraft or whatever. Briefly touches on the loss of his daughter, then moves on to him getting into the Apollo program, or Gemini and Apollo, and basically culminates to landing on the moon and then getting back. So there's everything's basically all the events that you sort of understand happened, like when he was testing the structure for the LEM, to land on the moon. And then he nearly died in that, in a fiery crash where, he lost control and he had to do an ejector seat out.
Are we talking about Steve Austin?
No, we're talking about Neil Armstrong. It's real life. Went through the, I think it was a Gemini crew who all died through burning to death inside the capsule because the way that they used to fill up, air in the capsules was only using oxygen, and it didn't do a mix. And of course, there was a fire which killed the whole crew, and it just basically caused an explosion inside the cockpit. So it goes through all of these events, and it's all very impressive and very historical. And it would have been all right, apart from one thing, and that is Ryan Gosling can only pull faces, or rather, can only pull a face. He is the most blank sheet, emotionless actor I've ever seen in my entire life. To be honest, the way that he portrayed Neil Armstrong, he might as well have been portraying a replicant. Do you know what I mean? There was no...
Well, he's been there,
yeah, I know he has, and that's why I use the analogy. Because I've seen him, Ryan Gosling, in a few things now, because there was also the musical that he was in. And all he seems to do is just stare. And there doesn't seem to be any emotion. And it's like his lines are delivered very monochromatic. There's no pitch or cadence or emphasis. It's almost like he is a robot that has just been stuck a suit of skin on him. He can't act for anything, and I don't know why he gets parts. And I think that's the problem with this. I found it. I'd got to him. Well, I was about halfway through the film, and I was struggling to keep watching it. I really was. I thought, I'm going to get through this, but it wasn't a good. I was really disappointed. I was hoping it was going to be a good film because I really loved Apollo 13. I think they did a fantastic job on that.
I adore Apollo 13 as a movie goes.
Yeah, well, you know how that would be like the end of the spectrum where it's a good movie? Well, take First Man and put it at the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay, so were you disappointed then, really, on this?
Tremendously. I can't remember the last time I was so disappointed in a movie because I love the Apollo space program. Yeah. It's one of my favourite period of human history because I just think it shows that if we have motivation, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I was just absolutely gutted after watching it and thinking that was awful. It just didn't entertain. It didn't have anything in it. Even like, his wife was also similarly not very good at acting, the woman who played his wife. And it's just, there didn't even feel like to be any chemistry between them. It was so disappointing. Really, really disappointing. But if you want to know about, some of the historical events, that way I think it's more or less factually accurate.
Yeah, I'll probably wait until it comes out on Sky then.
Don't buy it. Seriously, don't buy it. So the next one is Alien Covenant.
Yes, because what I've done is that's one of the ones I've just downloaded again to watch. Because it's the Alien box set that's on Sky at the minute. Yeah. Plus that one as well. Right. So Alien, you've got Alien Director's Cut, Alien Director's Cut, Aliens and Aliens Director's Cut, Alien 3 as well. I think Alien 4 Resurrection, is it Alien Resurrection? And then also that one's there. So even though I've got the box set, I don't know why maybe it's just being lazy, so I don't have to get off the chair. Yeah, that is quite bad, isn't it? It is, isn't it? But then again, I it's just sometimes a V is just a flick or something, So how did you find? Is this your second viewing or third viewing now? Second or third. I would say, to be honest, it's a very average movie, at best, I think. Yeah. The basic story is this follows on from Prometheus. It does, yeah. And I can't remember Michael Fassbender's character. Was he David or Walter? Wasn't he David on Prometheus? I can't remember now. It's been a while since I watched those. But basically, he plays a robot. It was David. So on the original one, he played David, and was
severely damaged at the end of that, and him and Elizabeth Shaw left to go and find the engineers who created basically mankind. Cut to Alien Covenant, and there's lots and lots happen. So you're seeing a new crew with some startling similarities to Alien, as in the fact that there's one of the characters, I'm trying to remember what he was called. It was called, was it Texas or something like that? But basically, there's lots of similarities between the original movie and this movie. Sorry, I'm not getting my thoughts straight today.
It's all right.
I'm just tired. It's been a long weekend. So, yeah, there's a lot of similarities in terms of the way that the crew's made up. The main female character is kind of like very Ripley-esque, and that sort of thing as well. So, yeah, it's basically the story is this ship's cruising along, something happens, the crew gets woke up, they then find this signal which has come from Elizabeth Shaw. So they then go to this planet, which is the planet of the engineers. When they land on the planet, everything's fine. There's like human wheat there and stuff like that. They're all finding it very weird. And then a couple of them step on these plant things, and that inseminates them with a variant of the alien, of the exomorph. But it's like a different variant of exomorph. In terms of the evolutionary species, as it were. And then lots of the crew get killed. Tennessee, that was his name. It wasn't Texas, it was Tennessee. Texas was or was it Dallas on Alien? So they get a rescue, ship coming down, all of that sort of stuff. There's more, David is actually the architect for the alien race, or, for the exomorphs, it turns out. Xenomorph, that's it. Xenomorph, I couldn't remember the name. So he invented the xenomorph, basically, and Elizabeth Shaw, he experimented on to develop the xenomorph. He also wiped out the whole of the race of the engineers by dropping this plague onto them as well. So, it's a bit... It never really quite hits the right note for me.
Anyway, moving on from Alien Covenant, I just want to say something. On April the 22nd, there is going to be a must 4K Blu-ray to get. And
is that the 40th anniversary of Alien?
I think it's... Yes. And I was looking at it yesterday, actually. I think it's pre-ordering at $24.99 at the moment. But this is the 4K edition. With Blu-ray as well.
It'd be nice to have, but I don't think I'm going to really upgrade from Blu-ray on that, because 4K upscaling, it looks fine, to be honest.
I mean, I might need to see a review. I've got the Blu-ray quadrilogy box, I think it's called, which has the director's cuts as well. I mean, if you haven't got any Blu-rays of these and want to pick them up, you can pick up. There is a box out at the minute for about £16 on Blu-ray, which will give you all the movies up to Covenant. Whether or not that gives you the special editions of the early movies,
I don't know on that either.
Because I love Aliens as well, and I think the first two movies are worth picking up when they're. I mean, Aliens anniversary will be a little bit later. I can't think how many years after Alien it came up without having a look it up, but those two movies certainly had a bit of an effect on what movies I was watching at the time, and I still think Alien holds up today as a movie. It's got no problem.
To be honest, I liked all of the Alien movies. I didn't have a problem with 3 or Resurrection either. I thought that they were all, decent enough movies. The Alien Covenant is a decent enough movie.
Yeah,
but obviously, they don't hit the high notes of Alien and Aliens, which are the two. No. It's one of the strange ones where the sequel is arguably better than the original, but it's a different movie.
It's a. I was just going. That was my. It is a different movie. It's an action, fast-paced movie compared to the Alien, which is a slow-paced thriller.
Stroke horror.
Of trying to survive. Yeah, stroke horror. Trying to survive on the Nostromo. And I really enjoyed those movies. Yeah, I never get bored of them. It's well worth watching the special edition on Aliens. I think there's like another 30 minutes maybe up to that. I can't remember how many it is. But there's some extra scenes that they put in there. Maybe whether they should be there or not. Like, for example, the small girl, Newt. In the special edition, you get to see her family in it. And how they... Yeah,
because they go out on that lander, don't they?
And they come across the ship, which you saw in Alien. And in Prometheus as well, actually, isn't it? I think it's in that as well. So you see them going... You see the couple there, and then obviously Newt sits. She's a proper little kid there at that point in the movie. To the frightened little girl, she is in the rubbish, in the sort of hell part of the space station where she is at the time on the planet. But they really are good, really good movies. You got one more, yeah?
Yeah, my last one is Moon.
Now, don't spoil it for me. I've got this sitting in my queue on my Skybox at the minute. I've been meaning to watch this film for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your first viewing again, or is this something you've watched before?
No, I've watched this several times before. I mean, the reason why I watched this was because I was talking to my friend John about it, and he quite fancied the sound of it. You know, said, it's Sam Rockwell, it's based on the moon, it's a bit 2001-ish. So I won't go into the plot too much, just the opening bit. But basically, Sam Rockwell is... an engineer on the moon, and there's a lunar industry that what it does is it sifts through the surface of the moon and finds materials to exploit, which it turns to energy and solves 76% of the Earth's problems for energy. But in order to do that, there are these not diggers, they look like combine harvesters that go across the surface of the moon. And Sam Rockwell's character is to just look after those devices.
Yeah.
And he's coming up to the end of his 3 years. He hasn't been able to get in communication with Earth for quite some time. And what that's resulted in is, being very isolated. He gets relayed videos from his family, via the Jupiter link, they always say, so he can't talk directly to them because of the time delay.
Yes, of course.
So, he's been on his own. He's, ready for going back to Earth after a 3-year stint on the moon. And then something happens with one of these harvesters. He goes out and there's a very big accident. And then things get weird.
Yeah. Just finally on this, say we've got all these sort of sci-fi space movies.
Yeah.
I still would like to put, with First Man and Moon, forget Alien Covenant for the minute. I love Martian. Really like that movie.
Yeah.
And if anyone's not seen that, that's worth a watch.
Yeah. The Martian. Yeah, that's not a bad movie at all.
Yeah. And it's an extended version on the 4K as well, on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's a bit longer, but yeah. Very good movie.
Okay. So, you'll have to watch Moon and then let us know what you think.
Yeah, I know. I need to sit and watch that.
Don't expect a fast-paced movie.
It's not. I know. It's going to be it's going to be very slow.
It's 2001.
A very lonely movie.
Brought up to date. Yeah, it is. It's also got Kevin Spacey in it as the voice of the robot.
Kevin Spacey in space.
Yeah, he plays he's the voice of Gertie, who's the robot.
Okay. All right. Let's move on swiftly then to the last part, which is listeners' questions.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay. Let's start with Mark's 2 questions as usual this week. So his first one is: Are your gaming and viewing habits more reliant on subscription services or purchases?
Viewing habits, I would say, it depends upon how you describe subscription service.
Well, Sky, I suppose, for example, Netflix.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I was thinking particularly of Sky, because most of my TV viewing would be subscription services, because it'd either be Sky, apart from the new Alan Partridge.
I haven't watched the first episode yet.
It's like Knowing Me, Knowing You.
Oh, brilliant. I've seen the trailer for it, so I'm itching to get into that.
Yeah. So apart from anything that's on the Beeb, then it's on subscription service. So that's either Sky
One, or, you know.
Yeah, mostly Sky One, I think, or Fox, because I'm really loving the Orville. Yeah. And at the Orville this week, oh my God, it was fantastic. 2-parter as well. Really can't wait for Thursday to come along fast enough. Or the other thing is Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime, just of late, I've noticed they've got a few movies sitting there nicely now.
They seem to be improving.
Because what I like, again, about Netflix and Amazon Prime is you can download to your phone.
Yeah.
Or whatever device you're going to use. So if I'm going to sit down and have my half-an-hour lunch break or something, I can sit and watch a decent-sized movie over a week.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shall I tell you the funny story? Friday, okay. What happens on a Friday? What gets released?
Yeah, but I'm a bit behind on Star Trek, if that's what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I am. I'm not going to talk about Star Trek, but on Friday,
yeah,
Star Trek gets released. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to a conference on Friday in Leeds. That's about 50 minutes on the train.
Just enough time.
Ping! Light bulb goes off in my head. Yeah, brilliant idea. Download it. So I downloaded it, and then my phone ran out of charge.
No.
And I didn't have my charger, and I didn't have a battery with me either.
Well, you see, regarding, say, subscription services here now, there is. I'm looking on the app on my phone at the moment, and there's quite a few films there. There's a few films I have seen, but there's a couple or so that I've actually missed out on. What have they got there? They got season 1 of Lost. If you fancy going back to that, they got The Walking Dead. Oh, actually, no, that's to buy.
They've got Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, and there's there was a couple of horror movies that I was itching to see as well, which are on here. So it's really cool. But they've got within this, there are other channels that you can subscribe to. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah.
And there's one there that I've been waiting to click to try for a week, and that is Shudder. I don't know if you've seen it, and if you dive deep into the app on your TV or on your phone.
Not particularly, no.
And Shudder is basically horror movies.
Yeah.
But it's also much of a niche sort of horror movie as well, and documentaries. So at some point I'd like to have a look at that. There's one movie that's come out on that, which is, I can't think what it's called now. It was called something Whack something. And what it was is, if you play this certain vinyl record, you could end up dying or something.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. So there's a few bits and pieces that I want to have a look at. But yeah, how do you go with subscription services? It's ridiculous, really.
And I think the problem is that we're going to be getting into a realm where a lot of the suppliers of the movies and TV series are starting to say, hang on a minute, why are we letting Netflix or Amazon get all the money? Let's have our own. And I think that we're in a danger of a whole load of them proliferating. You know, with like Disney, for example. Because realistically speaking, I'm not going to subscribe to a Disney one.
No.
And the channel that Discovery's on, that's, you know, in America, that is a subscription channel as well. I just think it can get a little bit ridiculous with companies getting greedy.
No, I totally agree with you on that. It can be a rabbit hole we don't want to go down too deep.
No.
And you could end up being screwed over. You know.
Yeah, I think there's too much of it. I think that there just needs to be 2 or 3 different services which you can choose which one you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second question. Yeah. Do you ever play games on your phone? Well, we know Steve does.
Not very often. There's the odd one or two, like Words with Friends and stuff like that I've played.
Mm.
That was just normally with the missus or something. But I found that Jaws I.O. just a good 10 minute, to kill time.
Yeah.
If you're somewhere where you're on your own lonely. You're not putting it too much of a point. I don't think you play games much on your phone, do you, really?
No, it's not my preferred method of consumption of video games, to be honest.
No.
I'd rather watch something on YouTube or whatever to fill in the time rather than actually play a game on there.
Yeah, because there was another... I'm trying to remember what it was now. There was another game I was playing. Obviously, I've used, the Xbox with a few games and PlayStation. You get the apps to use to play instead of your controller. Yeah. So they get used a fair bit. But I'm trying to... As I'm looking through my phone, I can find it now. I just type in games. I don't know if I mentioned it once before. There was a game I was playing where it's like texting. Mm-hmm. And there's a story in the background. And you get the text from different characters and you got to answer them back. And depending how you answer them back, you end up being more of a friend with them or sort of not being friends with them. Right. And there's this storyline with a murder involved. But generally they, I don't really play them. Mm. There are too many games to play elsewhere than to sit on your phone and do it.
Oh, entirely.
But, okay, so if we move on to Facebook and Nicky Wilson's question. So I know people like us will end up buying both PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. Other than games, what are the features you would like most to choose from to get your first one? Such as back compat, power, 4K drive, controller, console size or look, or anything else?
All of the above.
Is there anything in particular that you would think you'd like to hope for, or that would be the... So, let's say they both come out at the same time. Personally, I wouldn't buy both. Whichever point how I work it, it would be a staggered. I think I'd stagger it, especially with the 2-year cycle.
Yeah. Do you see yourself continuing down the PlayStation now that you've got a 4?
I'd like to think so, but I don't think... I think what the PlayStation is at the minute, I don't think I need an upgraded version of that at the moment. No. I can't see what it's going to give me, because there's some fantastic games there which look fantastic and play fantastic.
And to be honest, you don't make best use of it.
Not at the moment, I don't know. There's always going to be one more than the other. I think it's very difficult to juggle the two consoles sometimes. Mm. And I think people would be lying to think that they can juggle both. I'm sure they'll have their preference. Yeah. Whether it's one or the other. Yeah.
And they both do different things in different ways.
Oh, they do. But because there are different games to play, that there's the reason, obviously, to have both. Yeah. For exclusives. So, excuse me, I will wait and see what Microsoft come up with.
Fair enough.
And the same with regard to the PlayStation, I think I'm happy at the moment that I've got the VR and the PlayStation as it is, and that's enough to keep hold of it for some time, to be honest.
So let's have a hypothetical. Microsoft and Sony say 1st of October we're releasing our new consoles. Microsoft says it'll be back compatibility with all of the it'll be basically
that's a given, isn't it?
The X. Yeah, but it'll be the X with extra bells and whistles, basically. More power, blah, blah, blah. 60 frames a second, 4K, all that sort of thing.
We're talking the power and graphics upgraded again.
Yeah. PlayStation say exactly the same thing and say also backward compatible. We'll also this time learn from our heinous mistake of not putting in a UHD 4K Blu-ray player, and will also be still compatible with your VR headset, and it will also enhance that experience because you've got the PlayStation 5. Yeah. Which one are you going to go for? I know the answer, but
Oh, you think you know my answer?
Yeah.
Well, I can't see where the Xbox is going to go next. Because it's the most powerful console at the moment,
Yeah.
PlayStation need to up their game to match or go above.
Yeah.
So, this is just hypothetical, of course, but I would have a sneaky feeling that Sony will then want to jump ahead this time.
Yeah.
On that point. Obviously, Microsoft have learned from their mistakes where the PlayStation 4 was running streets ahead anyway.
Yeah.
And with the One X Power, it's more that they need to bring out more games for the Xbox. Where the PlayStation have had all the games, but then they need to upgrade that console because, first of all, why didn't it have a 4K drive in it? I do not know for movies.
It was a stupid choice.
It was a choice made by the big wigs because they don't want to hurt their player side of thing for selling the players. That can be the only reason, personally, I think. But if I was to choose one, I might go down the PlayStation route. Would that make sense?
I don't think you would. I think you would still stick with green. Because
this is all hypothetical, of course.
It is, but
what would you need from Microsoft to give you that edge over PlayStation if you were to choose a console?
Well, what do you need from PlayStation? Because to be honest, yes, there is a graphical difference, but the difference isn't that much between the two consoles.
Well, some games can look better than others depending on the console, so it can be very confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously with the interlacing and the way that the mechanics of how they give you 4K, whether it's native or not, and so on and so forth, with all that jungle of jargon that may confuse a lot of people that aren't in the know when they go to choose one for little Johnny needs a console, you know. So, what about yourself? Would you go if you were to choose one or the other? What would you go for?
I think.
I still think I'd be waiting. I don't think I'm going to rush out next year.
I think it'd be Xbox for me, to be honest, if in that hypothetical sort of situation. Just because I enjoy the experience more on Xbox.
Oh, I do. But I'm trying to think what's it going to pull? What's the pull going to be, if there is one?
Well, it's just going to be bigger, better, faster, more. That's all it's going to be. You know, 60 frame a second 4K gaming, you can't, which these ones will have to deliver. That's a bit of a game changer in terms of when you're playing it. If you've experienced 60 frames a second, you know the difference.
Especially for something like Destiny, or a shooter of some kind.
Exactly. It makes a big difference to the game.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Paul Wilson. Whilst watching Rami Malek at the Oscars, it dawned on me that he would have made an excellent choice for the main lead in a Jerry Lewis biopic, but who would play Dean Martin?
I don't know if Rami Malek would. It depends if he's got to give a comedic role, because Jerry Lewis is an icon, and the way he portrayed his characters, the way he did, that's going to be tough to follow, even get near it.
Yeah.
But Dean Martin, I mean, I love Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin as a comedy duo, and watched all sorts. I mean, I think for the people that are maybe a bit younger than us, will hopefully remember them in The Cannonball Run, for example. Oh, sorry, not Dean Martin, not Jerry Lewis. I don't know what I was thinking that, because that was The Cannonball Run was Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. Sorry, but the 60s movies then that they did together. Some people might not know who Jerry Lewis is.
Yeah.
But Dean Martin, I was thinking Hugh Jackman.
No, can't see that. Just can't see him. I can't see that myself.
No?
No.
Well, ironically, there was a Brat Pack movie that came out in the 90s. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
And so you had if people don't know, the Brat Pack was Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin. I'm trying to think of those that were in that now. But obviously, those original guys, they did a few movies together and got that nickname, didn't they? And there was a movie called The Brat Pack, and Dean Martin was played by the guy that was the main character in, was it the NCIS series? I'm trying to remember now. I'll tell you in a second, because I'll be hopefully I've got a good search for it. Oh dear. Give me a second if I can see it. Here we go. So this film came out in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And he was played by John Mantanga. I can never say his surname. Mantanga.
Okay.
And you might remember him from being... He was in The Godfather Part 3. He was the main character in Criminal Minds.
Right.
Because he's got that Italian background.
Mm.
So I'll have to try and see if I can hunt for that movie and have a look at that.
Yeah. I know who I would go for.
Hmm.
Vince Vaughn as a Dean Martin.
No, don't know.
I think he's more character-wise, more like him. Certainly than Hugh Jackman.
Well, the funny thing is, back in the day, I don't know how well you know Dean Martin, but he used to be on a TV show in the 60s, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, God, I think, let me have a look. I think it was with Kurt Russell's missus.
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. And he was always drunk. He just seemed like he was like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's done a stack of movies over the years, and he did a fair few, obviously, with Jerry Lewis. But no, those two together, they were a class act, and he'd done some serious roles as well with the Brat Pack movies that they did with Frank Sinatra and that.
Mm.
Which I think one of them was called. I can't remember now. There was one. It was the original Ocean's 11 story.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
And that's where from that it was. I think it was actually called Oceans, wasn't it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I just got a sneaky feeling that it was something like that, and with that storyline of robbing the banks in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Hugh Jackman could pull it off. He's quite a big character.
He just doesn't feel right to me.
Yes, it was called Ocean's 11. It was. And if you've not seen that version, I would recommend it, because you got Frank Sinatra, you got Dean Martin, you got Sammy Davis Jr. All those icons. Do you remember Angie Dickinson in the Police TV show?
Yeah.
She's in it. And also in it is Cesar Romero, who played the Joker in the original Batman.
Oh, yeah, I liked him.
and so there is a big cast, and it was a big movie in the 60s.
Mm.
It's well worth a watch.
I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah, I might have to. Do you know what? I'm going to have to see if I can dig it out somewhere. I'm sure I'll be able to find it on somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's, because that was 1960 when it came out.
That's a long time ago. That's before I was alive.
Even me. I wasn't even a twinkle in anybody's eye at that point. Actually, 4 years after I was born, but
Yeah.
Not that I advertise how old we're getting. Anyway, is that the last question?
That's the last question. We haven't got many this week.
That's okay. Well, it's getting on for 10 o'clock anyway, so contact information. So Twitter at Steve007, PSN ID the real Steve007, and Xbox Steve007. Email Steve007 at popculturegamers.co.uk, and I'll go make a coffee now while you read off all yours.
Well, it's HRJ UK on absolutely everything. That's Xbox, PlayStation,
Passport,
Twitch. Don't forget Twitch.
Yeah, and don't forget to obviously, if you're a Prime subscriber.
Yeah, get subscribing if you want. It's up to you. If you want to get in contact with the show, don't forget you can also email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. Don't forget you can also join our Facebook group. There is our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com. You can also listen to the show on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, or even on your Amazon Echo using our app. Just enable the app and you can listen to it there. And we're also on plenty of other recording software as well. We also have a Patreon if you want to help fund the show. So please do. And that's it, really.
Yeah, so it's good little bit of chat tonight.
Yeah.
Considering that
my brain's been like a piece of Play-Doh.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, there's one last thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture in a minute. Did you see me talking about my mouse troubles?
Yes, I did.
I got the git.
I hate it when you get a mouse. Because I have a phobia about them.
Well, my missus, she said, oh, you can get this humane one. I think, well, if I kick him outside, he's going to come back in the house again.
Yeah.
So I got good old-fashioned mousetrap. They come pre-baited with a bit of plastic. But they recommend you to help entice the critter is to put a little bit of peanut butter on there.
Yeah. So
I nearly lost my finger 2 times when I was setting the trap. But I delicately put it, because literally it's like a hair trigger on it.
Yeah.
If you touch it. So I put it in there last night, and I forgot about it. I said, oh, let me go and have a look. And there it was. Flattened. I know people might say, is this the humane thing to do? But, it's ripping through our food.
It's put it out of your misery.
Yeah. And it's funny because some people have said on Facebook, saying, you do have a cat.
Well, you have a dog.
Yeah, but the thing
Mind
is...
you, the mouse would have probably been bigger than Yoda, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
it'd look like a bantha in comparison to Yoda.
It would be like a rat. But no, it's just that. There we go. I'll send you this picture now, and you have a look, and you can see it. It's not too squeamish.
Yep, that's definitely got.
And if you zoom in on it, I think you can see his eye looking at you.
No thanks, because I have a phobia about them, and a really, really bad phobia.
I'm expecting the dad to come along next.
I have a massive phobia about mice and rats and anything that's small and furry.
Anyway, on a nicer note, should we say goodnight?
Yeah, let's say goodnight.
So it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.